Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Old Time Rock and Roll. I'm your host, David Tear, and I've been featuring a new feature for the last couple weeks. It's my personal countdown of roughly what I consider the top 3,000 rock songs of all time from 1954 to 1999. Today I'm up to song number 2988, and that is Tangled Up in Blue by Bob Dylan. And I'm sure you guys all know who Bob Dylan is. He's very famous, probably one of the greatest songwriters, rock songwriters of all time. He even won a Nobel Prize for Literature for his poetry expressed in his music. Very amazing singer and songwriter. Not a very good singer, but not bad. I mean, I think a good thing about Bob Dylan was that he touched just so many people all over the world. I think starting in America, he was born in Duluth, Minnesota, kind of in the heartland. And, I think he was kind of in the right place at the right time because, he started becoming famous in the early 60s. He wrote a couple really amazing folk songs, starting with, I think his first big one was Blowing in the Wind. That became kind of a peace anthem. That one he recorded, I believe, in 1963. He had his own version of it, which wasn't a big hit. I think mostly because he couldn't really sing. But then it was redone by a very famous folk group called Peter, Paul, and Mary, who had a huge hit with it. And other a lot of other very famous folk artists had hits with a lot of his songs early on because, like I said, he wasn't a very good singer, but he was an amazing songwriter. So some other artists who recorded some of his songs included the Byrds. The Byrds was a very big folk rock group in the mid 60s who had hits with several of his songs. So did who else? The Turtles had a hit with Ain't Me Babe. Jimi Hendrix even had a hit of his that was All Along a Watchtower, which interestingly was his only top 40 hit, even though he was a really amazing musician himself. Some other people, I don't know. I know Olivia Newton-John had a hit with "If Not for You," and lots of other artists had hits with a lot of his songs. But he kind of made it on his own later. I mean, he had a few big hits of his own, even in the '60s. I think his first top 40 hit was "Subterranean Homesick Blues." Kind of a strange song, but he made a recording of it, which he kind of did in a bus depot. There was a guy holding up signs, and he was just kind of reading off the signs. Kind of a funny video. I think that's kind of been redone by NXS in their video. What was it? Need You Tonight. And I don't know. I mean, he was just very, very influential, especially in the 60s, but even into the 70s. And, this song I'm featuring today, Tangled Up in Blue, this one he came out with in 1975. So this was one of his later recordings. I think it's a beautiful song, and I think it's very poetic. And, the whole song's kind of a poem about just some experiences he had growing up. I mean, he talks about this woman he met, and kind of the shenanigans we went through with her. Later, she ends up at a topless bar, and they kind of touch base again. And at the end, he just kind of talks about how just all these kind of events sort of led up to where he is now. And it's an interesting line at the last verse. He says, some people in his life have gone their own ways. Some of them are mathematicians. Some are carpenters' wives, and I find it's a little funny because I'm a mathematician, and I've never met Bob Dylan. I would love to someday, and I'd be honored to be a mathematician in his life. So anyway, that's my profile on "Tangled Up in Blue" by Bob Dylan. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.